So about a year and a half ago now, in maybe in April 2014, the organization I worked for, Rise Foundation, was in Akre camp, and this was Akre camp is it's one of Akre is a Syrian refugee camp, and it's in an old castle. And this particular castle was one of Saddam's old fortresses. He built it, and he used it for information gathering, which basically means torturing people. And it's a really, really horrible, grim, nasty, nasty place. And especially for the Syrian refugees who were forced to go there and they were put there, and that was where they were going to live. It was very difficult because yes, there were 300 families, so it's a small number. They were ethnically Kurdish, so they were the same, but they were from completely different communities. They didn't know each other. So these 300 random families were put together in this small confined space, and that was where they had to live. And it's very difficult for if you're put somewhere with people you don't know at all. And Caltha, she's one of the women that we've worked with on this project, and she's absolutely wonderful. She didn't leave her room for 3 months when she first arrived because she didn't know anyone, and it was a miserable place to be. And that's when we came along, and we, well, my friend Niels Henrik came up with the concept originally of just really simple recreational stuff, working with the children and painting murals on the walls. And it was a horrible, dilapidated concrete place. There was loads and loads of room for paint. So we started working with the children there, making these murals, and it was chaos at the beginning. It was absolutely chaos. There was so many children were really excited about the whole paint and the idea of it all, that it was really difficult to control. And after a few weeks, we'd worked out how to control this so it worked well, and we could get what we wanted put on the walls rather than a load of horrible mess, which doesn't look good and would mean that we would lose our permission to work there. So, and we didn't put anything on the walls. What went on the walls was special. So we'd sit down with the children and we'd give them a theme. Maybe it was the elderly at the beginning. And then they would go away and come up with ideas and scribble them down on pencil and paper and sketchbooks that we'd given them. So they'd come up with these ideas, and then we would put them together and make a mural for them to draw. And some of the murals had really quite serious ideas in them. There was one in the entranceway. There's this huge tree, and it's in autumn, and the leaves are starting to go brown. Some of the leaves are going brown. Most are still green, but some are going brown, and 3 leaves had fallen off. And on every single leaf was the name of a Syrian city. And the leaves that were on the ground were Damascus, Homs, and Aleppo, which at that time, and still are really the 3 great cities of Syria that have fallen most. And it's a wonderful project because now, a year and a half later, Rise Foundation has just finished painting all the way around the walls on the bottom level and the inside walls. So it's about 2,000 square meters of murals, and that's every Friday for a year and a bit now. And it's wonderful because in that time, we originally started with a group of girls when we were doing this. They've got to know each other. They've become more confident. They've become happier. Castle Art has given them friends. It's given them something exciting to do and something exciting to plan for the next week. So it's not just one discrete session of painting. They have a lot of time to think about the ideas, and it's just a really good way of keeping people happy and motivated, and it's just a bit of escapism. And it's not just for the children that are directly involved in the painting. It's for the whole population of this place, because the work is displayed on the walls for everyone to see. And all the murals are some are deep and sad, but they're all painted in vivid, bright colors, and all painted by the children. Their art is now getting really good, and it's a wonderful, one of my favorite places in the whole of the area, because the people that are there and that we work with and we got to know are just absolutely brilliant. And the children light up when you arrive and you get all the paint out and they start working, and the elder or the more experienced students that have been working with us for the longest as sort of helping to mentor some of the other ones now. And it's a really good way of helping a community to inject a bit of life back into itself. And that's the best bit, because all we do is set them off in the right direction and give them a bit of a steer and make sure the paint doesn't get spilled everywhere. And they do the whole rest of it by themselves. The hardest thing about the whole project was probably keeping on track and not being persuaded to go off and have a cup of tea with someone about every 20 minutes. It was and is absolutely wonderful. It's such a good place. I'm really proud of everyone that's worked on that, painted on that, and it got a lot of people involved. We were a small group, and we had a huge number of volunteers who would come in with us on a Friday from Erbil or from other places, and we'd all get together and we'd have enough people to assist the children and guide them a bit while they did their work. And it's all their work, and that's the best bit. It's a really wonderful, wonderful place. If you get the chance, go to Akre in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, and go to Kala, which is the castle, the Syrian camp. It's an absolutely wonderful place.